Hello and welcome to Manic Movies, a series where we talk about the Manic Movies. I'm Ryanimaniac, and today we're going to be taking a look at Child's Play, the horror classic from 1988. And today joining me is AB Doodles here. Say hi.
Hello. Hi.
And she's joining me because this is her first time ever having watched Child's Play.
This is a very true statement.
So, and given the fact that she wants to check out the remake that's supposed to be coming out fairly soon, I offered to let her rewatch the original with me. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with this film that's already reached its 30th anniversary as of last year...
spoilers.
Spoilers for a 30-year-old movie. But the general synopsis of this plot is the serial killer Charles Lee Ray is gunned down by police, but before he dies, he puts his soul into the body of a good guy doll, and that doll ends up with the Barkley family. And suddenly all these strange, mysterious murders begin happening all around the Barkley residence and around the Barkleys. But nobody believes the little boy Andy, who knows the doll is alive. Everybody thinks he's just making it up. And so it's up to the mother to prove that the doll is actually alive, because if she can't prove it, the police are threatening to take away her child.
To a mental hospital.
Due to insanity. And so, yeah. And all the while, Chucky is trying to put his soul into the body of the little boy. Yeah, so the film is like roughly 30 years now. I feel like a lot of people should know about this, but even then, you have never seen it.
I had never seen it. I knew the gist of it, obviously.
That it was about a killer doll.
And I knew like parts of it because I'd watched clips on YouTube, but I didn't know the full extent.
This was your first time sitting down watching it all the way through.
Yeah, completely.
So
it was an interesting movie.
How would you say it's aged over the years?
I mean, the storyline is good. I enjoy the plot of the movie. It was kind of, the acting wasn't the greatest. Yeah,
the acting, especially from the little boy, Alex Vincent, not exactly the greatest, except for the moment where like Chucky's coming after him into the mental hospital.
Crying.
That looks like legit fear on the child's face.
It probably was. He like telling the kid he was gonna die. I mean, my first question is though, what parent thinks, oh, I should totally let my 6-year-old child be in a horror movie about a killer doll? I mean, that's what I would do as a parent.
The story I think holds up pretty well. I mean, the film itself is pretty corny. The writing's not that great. There's some lines that didn't age very well.
No.
Not at all.
No, some of those lines need to be cut completely, even from this movie now.
Well, John, it's been fun, but I gotta go. I have a date with a 6-year-old boy.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good classic. Because like when you watch classic horror movies or any classic movies, they're like, people are gonna be like, this is such a corny movie, and that's kind of what makes them classic. Because I mean, you gotta think back in the 80s, that was great. That was brand new and revolutionary, and like that was totally like fantastic. And now here we are in 2019, and we're like, that's not great. That's like I made that in my kitchen.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the old stuff that are very corny kind of adds to their charm. Like,
exactly.
I think if you ask just about any Friday the 13th fan, they'll tell you that all those movies suck.
I mean,
they're all pretty stupid.
I mean, you think about Princess Bride too. I know that's not a horror movie, but like, it's a great movie. It's probably one of the best movies. But honestly, if you hold it up to a 2019 movie, it falls very short in other areas. But that's what makes it a classic.
Also, the nice little connection that Prince Humperdinck was.
I know, that's why I put that in there. I just put that in there. That made me. Also, Seventh Heaven. The mom was in the movie.
Yeah.
And I as soon as I saw her on the screen, I just went Seventh Heaven, and I just went, oh gosh, what have I gotten myself into? Which I knew she was in the movie because I've seen scenes, obviously, but it was just Seventh Heaven was one of my childhood shows watching, so it was just kind of weird to see her
suddenly being attacked by a killer doll.
Yeah, that was a little strange. And shooting a gun, because in Seventh Heaven, she's a pastor's wife, so it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Water just popped up.
What would you say about Chucky himself and like the guy who plays him, Brad Dourif? What did you think of that overall?
I think the voice was really good. To be honest, like I mean, he played a doll very convincingly, and I don't think you could have gotten a. I mean, you probably could have. I mean, there's probably people who are like, you could have got a better voice, but honestly, like his voice fit that kind of creepy serial killer kind of thing going with a doll. Because I mean, first off, it's a doll, so you're not expecting like a gruff,
gravelly voice
coming out of it. So that made it even more like... No! That made it so much more like, what? Because, there's the first part where she's like, hi, my name's... And it's just like, what is that? Like, that's not scary at all. But then you hear his voice and you're like, never mind, I'm terrified.
I also love the fact that like a lot of horror movies would do with this general concept. This is a physical doll and like an animatronic. Whereas a lot of other movies, like Persona around the doll thing, would probably do them CGI. But for the Child's Play series, I like the fact that for most of them, it is a physical doll moving around.
I mean, they had it in the credits, puppeteers. Chucky's puppeteers.
There are very few times in the Child's Play series when it's been a CG doll, and when it is, you immediately notice. Because most of the time it's not very good. Curse of Chucky. But I do appreciate that it's a physical doll that's there and moving around. It kind of helps fill that void.
Made it feel a lot
Makes
more creepy.
Makes it feel real.
Made me go, I do not want a doll. I mean, I already don't like dolls, but now I really don't like dolls. Like, when I have children, if I have a little girl, like, no, you ain't having dolls. I'm sorry. Like, absolutely not. Dolls are not coming in our house.
Any dolls whatsoever?
No.
Especially Annabelle?
No. That stays way outside, buried 6 feet under the ground, and then burnt.
What would you say is your least favorite part of the film?
It's the part where, first off, Andy leaves the school. He doesn't even go all the way in the school, and somehow he manages to leave the school without anyone noticing. Then he gets on a freaking subway train thing, and nobody thinks, oh, maybe, like, the conductor or any of the security guards or anybody goes, oh, that's a 6-year-old. Maybe we should figure out why this 6-year-old is in one of the worst parts of town. Then the child walks this doll to this creepy building. So what 6-year-old goes, I'm going to go to this creepy building. And then there's gunshots in the building, so then I'm going to run to the building. Like, in my mind, first off, if I was a 6-year-old and I heard gunshots, I run the opposite direction, not toward it. And then he's walking out there, Chucky. And I'm like, what? Who taught this boy? This boy's just dumb. I mean, to begin with, he already knew that the doll was alive. And so you've already put 2 and 2 together that this thing has killed his mother's best friend. And yet you're just, like, totally chilling out with it. And
No. The way that Chucky tells him is that it's all accidents. Because you remember the incident with Maggie, he's like, she got scared and fell out the window.
True, but like still, I don't know. I just feel like, knowing me personally, I would not be like, no, I'm just going to leave now. I just can't. No. So it's just, I guess they played like the dumb child way too much in the movie. Like, I think there comes a point where a child's just going to know, like, okay, I shouldn't do this. It doesn't matter how old you are. Like, you kind of know, like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this is a little much.
I don't know. I'd say probably my least favorite part is that they kind of, I think they reveal a little too early on the whole thing of him putting his soul into the doll. Like, it's the first thing in the movie. And so the rest of the movie, he's running around and they're building up the whole, maybe Andy's doing it. But you already saw Charles put his soul into the doll at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
I feel like
that had been like, put that like in the middle of the movie as like a flashback.
If they had done that, like, as she's investigating, she finds out more about it, then...
Yeah.
And like, in the beginning, it just shows him finding Charles' body next to the doll. And then that just happens to be a weird coincidence. And as the film builds up, it slowly starts to reveal that he put his soul into the doll. Yeah. I feel like that would have helped the little suspense bit of it.
Yeah. I guess the suspense of it, being alive, for me watching it the first time, even though I know Chucky was already alive, like, from that first scene, as soon as Andy got the doll, I was like, oh my gosh, when is it going to come alive? When is it going to kill someone? Because I know you're Charles. And so it just was like, the suspense for me was like, when is it finally going to wake up and be a crazy serial killer? But I think it would have been better if there was like that point where I'm like, okay, why is that doll moving? What is happening with the doll? Why is the doll possessed? What's happening? You know, I didn't need to ask those questions because I think you saw it at the very beginning of the movie.
Overall, I want to say it was a pretty good film. I've been rewatching all the films before the remake comes out, so I wouldn't really say this is the best of them all.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of them, so
I wouldn't exactly call it the greatest because it is a lot slower than all the other movies, and it's not the sort of wisecracking but also menacing Chucky that most people think of. It is a lot more of a slow burn movie, but it is still good. Right. Especially for the fact of, building up, leading up to. He's not shown moving around most of the time. You just catch little glimpses and POV shots and hands coming into frame, that sort of thing.
Right.
So I feel like that is still a good enough reason to watch this film.
Right.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you can feel free to leave a like down below. Give a comment, giving a suggestion of, any suggestions you might have for movies or anything I should take a look at. Or if you'd like to have AB back. Or just tell me what you think of this series in general. Or you can click subscribe to see what other random stuff I put up on this channel. Also, you can go check out AB's channel. The link for that will be in the description below.
Come on,
and
check it out.
We'll probably be at the end card here. But yeah, that's pretty much all I think we got to say. So, with all that being said, stay sane in the insane world, and I'll see all you little loonies later.
Bye.
Ade Dewey Dembella, give me the power!